Good evening and welcome to First News with Violet Gonda standing in for Temba Hoe. The MDCT is holding its 14th anniversary celebrations in Mutare tomorrow. All eyes will be on MDCT President Morgan Tsvangirai at the celebrations held under the theme Celebrating the People's Victory. The party's worst electoral defeat since its founding in 1999 has led to questions about Mr. Tsvangirai's continued leadership of the party.
At the present moment, there are lots of confusions, lots of confusion about who actually is MDCT, because some of them are talking, they say conflicting statements, to the point of not knowing what is really going on. Some even are talking about leadership renewal. So you might actually see Morgan Tsvangirai, stepping aside or being voted aside, by the people. So we might actually see a renewed MDCT altogether.
But the MDCT denies there will be a vacancy in the leadership position before 2016.
The MDC held its National Council meeting, which is the highest decision-making body between congresses. And that meeting made a resolution that we are going to stand firm, solidly behind our leadership headed by President Tsvangirai for the remainder of our term, which is in 2016. And in 2016, anybody is allowed to contest any position, from the highest position being that of presidency to the lowest position that is there. Everybody is allowed to contest these positions. But MDC is not in a Congress right now.
Pressure remains on Mr. Tsvangirai, however, to outline the party's strategy for contesting the election, which they have condemned, but SADC has endorsed. And what message will he give his followers to reignite their hope and belief that change is possible and can be delivered by the MDCT? Moaning about the election results will not be enough to rejuvenate support for the party, which has been criticized for lack of strategic policies and incoherent messaging.
The future of the MDC, I think they have an uphill task ahead, because first of all, we can notice the divisions that are there in their party. But, as a result of the elections.
During the inclusive government, Mr. Tsvangirai was criticized for getting too close or being too friendly to President Robert Mugabe and for taking his eye off the change agenda. In light of the recent electoral defeat, tomorrow represents the first real test for the MDCT president to show that both he and his party still have a role to play in influencing the future of Zimbabwe. And in Bulawayo today, members of the Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions gathered to protest against police brutality.
This is our right. Yes. There isn't much. This is a new government, but ZCT is an organization all by itself. Yes. We need our own freedom. Yeah. Thank you.
The police had initially banned the demonstration on Thursday, but the trade unionists approached the High Court where they were given a go-ahead. South Africa's gold miners have returned to work after a 3-day strike hit production at most gold mines in the country. Experts say the end of the strike is a relief to Africa's largest economy, hit by strikes across a range of sectors, including automaking, which have cost tens of millions of dollars a day in lost output lately. The National Union of Mine Workers has been consulting its members on a revised offer from gold producers, and the return to work showed some of its members have accepted terms of the new deal. But even with the new deal, many miners say they cannot make ends meet. Despite Africa's largest economy devoting billions of dollars to infrastructure, housing, healthcare and education, Income disparity and unemployment have mushroomed, while chronic joblessness has helped entrench a massive underclass. These circumstances, combined with ballooning living costs and a demand for better pay, led to the violent strike by workers at Marikana mine site, which saw police shooting 34 miners last year, killings that shocked South Africa and the world.
Marikana was just an epitome of a bigger problem. It is not an isolated event, but it is a form of a brutal violence that was shown to the world by the physical act of violence that was seen. But the mining communities and the mine workers and their families live with brutal violence on a daily basis. It's not physical, but it is a violence of alienation, it is a violence of marginalization, it is the violence of poverty, it's a violence of generating billions for somebody and get peanuts for yourselves.
The base pay for miners is about $500 a month, but when production bonuses and benefits are added, the average miner grosses nearly double that, according to industry and government data. But the money goes quickly. Most miners maintain 2 households, with one near the mine site and the other for extended families who live away from them. The average miner supports 8 to 10 people. Growing discontent about low wages has led to community-based organizations raising awareness on work conditions as well as the effects of mining on the environment. Experts say more lasting solutions are required to tackle deep-rooted social problems that go back to South Africa's history as a mining power forged under the stark inequalities of apartheid system of white minority rule, which ended 19 years ago. And in other news, the Australian Labor Party began its leadership contest today. The party was ousted from office in last weekend's federal election, and its leader, Kevin Rudd, stepped down. Now, the former Deputy Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, announced that he would run against party power broker Bill Shorten. The party will hold a ballot of around 40,000 members to decide who leads the party, as it attempts to end more than 3 years of bitter political infighting. 2 African countries have been recognized in the 2013 edition of the Aga Khan Award for Architecture. The prestigious architectural award, held once every 3 years, features entries from compelling structures across the globe. 5 winning projects that reflect excellence and have a positive impact on people's lives were drawn from a short list of 20, in which Sudan and Morocco managed to emerge among the top 5. The winners share a $1 million prize. The Moroccan entry was the Hassan II Bridge, which links the Moroccan capital Rabat with its satellite cell city to create one urban hub. The massive bridge makes extraordinary demands of the graceful arched supporting structural forms. The design also provides an umbrella over the plain of the Bouregreg River, and as a result offers public space for a variety of uses like train stops. In the Sudanese capital, Khartoum, the Salam Center for Cardiac Surgery was recognized partly because of its intriguing aspects of transforming containers once used to transport medical equipment into highly desirable space used to provide accommodation for staff. The hospital's buildings are sited around a courtyard. The Guinness Book of Records has announced entries for 2014, and this year there are some unusual record breakers. The world's largest walking robot at 8.2 meters high was built by Hans Zollner, who created a mechanized fire-breathing dragon that dwarfs the local landscape. From the UK, London's Leilani Franco demonstrated her incredible ability as a contortionist who drinks tea with her feet and now holds 3 new back-breaking records, including the fastest back-bend walk.
Whenever I'm at a party, my friends are always like, Leilani, do a trick, show people what you could do. And I say, okay. And then I do something really weird and everybody gets really shocked. And I like that.
In the US, Happy, the Floridian skateboarding goat, rolled into the records books with the farthest distance skateboarded by a goat, traveling 36 meters in 25 seconds. Bigger is not always better, as Texan Austin Colson set out to prove using a baby's pram and a quad bike to construct the world's smallest roadworthy car. It measures just 63 centimeters high, 65 centimeters wide, and 126 centimeters long. California's Steve Sansweet and his full-size Darth Vader celebrated being recognized as owning the largest collection of Star Wars memorabilia in the world, with over 330,000 items. Back in Europe, Italy's Fabio Reggiani was riding high after being recognized as creator of the world's largest motorcycle, measuring 5.10 meters from the ground to the top of the handlebars. Also leading the pack are Germany's Julia Plecher, who ran the fastest 100 meters in high heels. And last, but by all means least, was Puerto Rico's Millie, the world's smallest dog. She measured just 3.8 inches small, enough to fit in the palm of your hand. And in sports, and staying with records, the Zimbabwe national soccer team has moved 15 places up the FIFA Coca-Cola World Rankings. According to the rankings released by FIFA yesterday, the Warriors move up to 101 from 116. The improvement in Warriors FIFA rankings follows impressive performance by the national football team in the past month. The Warriors also moved into the top 30 on the continent and are now pegged at number 27. And that's all we have on First News with Violet Gonda. Hope you enjoy the rest of our programming. Good night.